Hello, everyone. Welcome to Datu's Corner. How you doing today? Um, Today's topic is going to be about the Buffalo Blizzard of 2022. So, I mean, my phone's been ringing off the hook. So, I decided that I would do a podcast on this. So, first of all, if you chime in today, make sure you tell us where you're logging in from. Sometimes it doesn't show up on who it is. So, by all means, let us know or let me know. We are getting ready to start the next season 3 of FMA Talk. My great co-host PG Ty and I are making some plans for the new year. We're tentatively going to be starting back up on January. Hold on one moment. Probably should have had the calendar up before I started the show. So what happens when you take a few weeks off. We are going to be starting back up January, most likely Monday, the 16th in the States. That's Martin Luther King Day. So, for those who are unaware, if you come across this, I was talking to one of my students who stays off the internet in a nice warm state, or doesn't watch the news much, I should say. Didn't realize that there's a blizzard going on in Buffalo. I've been getting phone calls though from Austria, messaging from Brazil, all around the world, not to mention the U.S. People making sure I'm okay, and yes, I am okay. So, what I want to do is go over a couple things on how you survive a blizzard. Because people are like, well, what do you do, and what's going on, and to what scope of what's going on here. So, as an example, what's going on here? We had, I'm in West Seneca, which is a suburb of Buffalo, but it's the first ring of suburbs. Usually what happens, we have this thing called lake effect snowstorms, and the moisture is sucked up off the lake. It moves in 10 miles and then drops. That's where my school is. That's where my house is. 8 years ago, we literally had 8 feet of snow drop. Now, obviously, it doesn't stack up 8 feet. It compresses, it melts, it drifts, it does all these things. But we had 8 feet of snow in a 2-day period. Now, this isn't the first time. When I was 11 years old, we had the blizzard of 77, which was the one that was supposed to set all records. And I literally walked 3 miles to my grandparents to get away from my bipolar stepfather. And no, I didn't walk barefoot uphill both ways, although there was an uphill portion of that. And I got to stay at my grandparents for 2 weeks, and all in West Seneca. So the thing that makes the blizzard rough, and this is what we're going to talk about today, and right now let's put something in better context. We've lost over 30 people so far due to the storm. It's a serious thing. And people ask me how I survive and how I do all these things. I'm going to give you the 101, the things that I have done. Because there's been a bunch of blizzards through Buffalo. And it's not hard to survive if you know what you're doing. Some of the people who passed away were new to the area and didn't know what they were up for. So I also want to talk about, there's been some people taking shots at the mayor of Buffalo about this. Now, I don't like politicians. Let's put it this way. And I'm not in Buffalo. And they're taking shots at the governor, and taking shots of the county controller, taking shots of everybody. And I understand when you're frustrated, when you're stuck in a house. So what happened is I did a private lesson Friday morning. I get done at 9 a.m. and I get a phone call saying, hey, you coming home? I go, yeah, I will be. Why? They're putting a travel ban in effect in 30 minutes at 9:30 a.m. Thursday before Christmas Eve day. So they already shut down the thruway from Rochester to the city or the state line, which is so Rochester is an hour and a half east of us. And then the state line is from Buffalo about an hour. So think about this. A thruway that goes like 65 miles an hour. Well, that's the speed limit. You could travel 2.5 to 3 hours distance. That much of the thruway got shut down. Not to mention the local highways and stuff. And this is the third time we've had shutdowns due to weather this year. And the forecasts have been 100% accurate. Every time I'm used to the past, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, and never comes. It's been 100% accurate with these three storms. Now, this was not the most amount of snow we had. But the problem here is it had winds from anywhere from 50 to 70 miles an hour. Zero visibility. Now, a lot of people have been taking shots. Well, why aren't my streets plowed and what's going on with this? Because the safety of human life is paramount, including the drivers of the plow trucks, police officers, emergency responders. They have just a right, they have the same right to live as anyone else does. Driving a vehicle in zero visibility is a danger to themselves and everyone around them. There's plenty of streets here that tee up to a house. And I could just imagine a plow truck, which is a big dump truck with a plow in front of it, for those who don't have this, going through the intersection and crashing into someone's home and hurting or killing people. It is not an easy thing to deal with. But there's some easy steps. And, unfortunately, they did the smart thing, which was eventually shut down, stay in place, let the visibility get better. Ryan Montalopoulos is one of my students who's doing movies now, and his father's an emergency responder. He had to abandon his vehicle, got hit with frostbite, had to form a human chain to get places because the snow was that bad. The visibility was that bad. People have died into our blizzards within 30 feet of their vehicles because they lost all forms of orientation. Because if you haven't been in a blizzard, it's like a sandstorm we see in the movies, but it's white and it freezes and it can kill you. So I want to talk about just the ABCs that I follow that have kept me safe. And like I said, I've been doing this. I've been Buffalo. I'm 57 years old. I've seen this time and time again. I said, I walked the blizzard of 77 at 11 years old. I would never allow anyone to do that. I wouldn't advise it. My mom should have grabbed me and never let me out of the house. But we had a different mindset back then. And, I was stupid. Who's to say I'm not now? So first of all, it's the three. I follow the three. Stay warm, stay fed, stay in. Simple as that. Now, obviously, there are situations, there are people, like right now, the roads are fine in West Seneca, but Buffalo, there's so many abandoned vehicles in the streets. They cannot clear the roads because they're basically barricaded with abandoned vehicles. The problem with the snowstorm of this magnitude is not the snow, it's the removal. People lose power. Okay. So what do you do? Now, I've lost power multiple times during snowstorms. And unfortunately, sometimes all you get to do is bundle up. Now, the homes up north, like in Buffalo, where we're at, we have basements. So I know when I was down in Florida, I was staying at one of my guys' place. I was laughing, like, the weather's going to get down to 32 degrees. I'm like, oh, that's like a normal afternoon up here. We got to go in and put all the hoses on. I'm like, or put all the faucets on so the water keeps flowing. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? So the pipes don't freeze. What do? Nothing. Why? Because, well, one, our plumbing and stuff is geared for this climate. Two, we have basements that keep our pipes warm. Really? So whole different animal there. So in different parts of the country, you might have to do different things. If you got to a point where you lost all power and it was getting that cold, then obviously what you want to do is have the water flowing so the pipes don't freeze and they don't burst. But all I did was stay in. I fortunately we didn't lose power. We knew the storm was coming. Here's the thing: if you know the storm's coming, there's no need to get. You have plenty of time to get food, get drink. Hold on 1 second. My Janice, get your son. All right. My four-legged child is getting into trouble. Um, so, um, so you know, we were locked. Okay, so as an example, I got home Thursday, so we went out and did everything on Wednesday. Thursday, or I'm sorry, we went out and did everything on Thursday. Friday, I come home. There's a travel ban that doesn't get lifted for the county until Monday. So the whole Christmas weekend. And only certain parts of the bans have been lifted. So the city of Buffalo, as of today, which is December 28th, um, Wednesday, the storm happened on Friday and Saturday primarily. The city of Buffalo is still shut down. That's the magnitude we're talking about. So, we went out and got food ahead of time because we got the warnings. We stayed warm. I didn't even go do the driveway. I went out. I wasn't feeling good. And I had a headache. I had a stomach ache. Had a little intestinal thing going on, which I don't think you guys want to hear about. But I made sure that one of the days I went out, and my driveway is 100 feet long. Got my snow blower out. I went out and did 3 passes just to make sure I had an opening at the end of the driveway. Because the thing here, if you're in this kind of snow, the thing that crushes you as a homeowner is the snow plows plowing the streets and filling in your driveway. So I need to make sure I had a hole so I can get there. You know, um, I remember having 4 foot of snow overnight, and my driveway was fine because every 2 hours I was out there doing the driveway. So it's about consistency, and you do it before it gets too heavy. But I already had my food. I had beverage. I had plenty of food and drink. I've got a freezer downstairs in the basement, and I could just throw it outside to keep it frozen if I had to. Um, we didn't lose power, so we didn't have to. We could always cook. But there's plenty of things here. I mean, peanut butter and jelly, if that's what it comes down to. The if we can keep the house warm, but the power goes off, you can take the food and put it in the garage. You can put it outside. You can do a whole bunch of different things. But the thing here is I'd go out for, so I went out, did what I had to do. I'd take my dogs out because they didn't want to, the backyard with all the snow we had like 43 inches, but it didn't stay. Like my driveway, if it was near the car, it was like 3 feet tall, but in the middle of the driveway, it was only about 4 inches deep. Now, Sunday is the day I went out and we got more snow. Unfortunately, by the time I went out Sunday, it's pretty much 2 feet deep everywhere. Yep, all is good, Nathan. Happy holidays to you as well. Hey, can you hear me good, Nathan? Nathan is in Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so, but like I said, I didn't bother doing the. I didn't go out. I didn't. I really blew off doing the driveway completely. Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that, Nathan. Did you guys get any of the snowstorm down there? I heard other parts of the country. I mean, when we got the warnings, they were saying the problem that this was a historical snowstorm because Chicago, from Chicago all the way to Buffalo, Canada, north of us, like Sudbury, Ontario, which is 6 hours north of Buffalo, got a huge amount of snow. So, or like, that's what the warnings were and reports were. So I don't know how far this hit. I do know a lot of. If you watch the news, you'll see that a lot of planes got canceled, not just coming into Buffalo, but going everywhere. So the problem runs into, and this is really what it boils down to. If you want to stay safe, you don't go anywhere. You have to prepare for everything. Everything in life we prepare for. Obviously, if you don't have the means to put food in your refrigerator, it's rough. You know, um, and I know what it's like to be poor. Okay, I was poor a good chunk of my life. minimum wage jobs so I could do my martial arts. Which really stunk because tuition for martial arts was expensive and the wage was low. But the thing here is this. I understand what it's like not to have enough money to put food or stockpile anything. I've lived check from check in my life. So I know that some of the things I'm going to talk about, it's hard for some families. One of the people who died is a Somalian immigrant who went out to get food and medicine for his child and died. So I feel bad for people in those circumstances. Any loss of life is not acceptable, but sometimes people bring it upon themselves, knowing the risks and taking the risks, whether or not they should be out there or not. So we went through. Listen, I'm going through my weekend. My biggest mistake. There's two things that if I could have done better for this weekend. I thought I had gas in my gas can for my snowblower, so I didn't run out. But I got to the point where I'm like, all right, I should check the tank. I'll refill the tank. I went to refill the tank. There's nothing there. There's just like very little. I'm like, okay. So I grabbed the gas can, open that up. Darn it, that's empty. And the other gas cans are set for different gas powered devices, like my weed whacker that you mix oil with. And I guess I could have put it in there, but I don't want to do that. So I'd call the police station. And here's the thing, call the police, call the regular line. Don't call 911, call the regular line, because I couldn't find information whether the travel ban was lifted on Monday. So it was. And then we went hunting for gas, and some knucklehead going in the gas station parking lot started bipping off, swearing at all these people. He pulls to the parking lot, stops right next to my car, gets out and trying to, it's like, get out of here. And he turns at me and starts getting in my face. I'm like, I had the back of my van open up. I had a gas can. Well, plastic's not really, And I'm like, and he's trying to intimidate me. And I'm like, this is funny. And it would have been really embarrassing to try to explain to the police how a plastic gas can got shoved up one of his orifices. Not to mention, everyone in the parking lot was cool except this lunatic who ended up screaming out of the parking lot, blowing off a red light, almost hitting other cars. It's like there's this psychosis when people, because the gas station unfortunately ran out of gas while we were there. Fortunately, we were able to find one that had gas and all was good. The other thing is that I should have stood up. I wussed out. I'll say it. I was a big wuss. I was in this, just sitting in front of the TV with a headache, a stomach ache, and a case of little diarrhea. Sorry, shared it with you anyways. And I was, oh, woe is me. And I didn't want to go anywhere. All I got is up and down to get food and watch TV. Did binge watch a lot of things on Netflix. But I should have been a little further on the driveway. Now, here's the thing. All the snow's melting. All the snow's melting. It's going to be 50 by the weekend. But so where I'm at, the roads are already clear. Unfortunately, that's not the city of Buffalo. Well, why is that? Which, by the way, we literally border Buffalo. Why are their streets so bad? Because there's a bunch of abandoned vehicles in the way. People went out when they knew better. Now, here's the negativity I have about the blizzard. I've been here. I was born in the 60s, okay? I'm 57 years old. You can do the math. Let me see here. Sorry about the wind. Came from Michigan. Yeah. No problem, Carl. Here's the problem. Like I said, I've been all the blizzards, from 77 on. They don't talk about blizzards that were before 77. That's the start of the blizzard history in Buffalo. Obviously, there was blizzards before that, but they don't talk about it. And Jimmy Griffin was the mayor at the time, and he told everybody, grab a six-pack and stay off the streets. He was a blue-collar mayor. But he was right. grab something, stay off the streets. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of animals out there who decided to take this opportunity to loot buildings and businesses, grabbing cash, breaking registers over, not getting food, not getting like toilet paper. We're talking Dollar Generals and others being broken into, taking U-boats, and that's the six-wheeler carts that they have in there for stocking shelves. People left and right looting. Freaking animals. I have never seen this. Never seen this in the history of Buffalo during any of these blizzards. And it's during Christmas. And this really, really irks me. And I gotta watch my tongue with what I'm gonna say on so many different levels. It's a disgrace. This is not the example of the norm in Buffalo. It's the minority. Okay. I'm not saying it's minorities who are doing it. The norm in Buffalo, most people in Buffalo, we're the city of good neighbors. We dig ourselves out and then we help our neighbors. Okay. Then there's always a little minority of a group, a bunch of little knuckleheads that take advantage and make things look bad. And of course, first time I've seen looting multiple places, and they weren't grabbing things. It was not, I need water, I need food. No one was grabbing shit like that. They were grabbing televisions. They were grabbing, literally breaking open cash registers to take cash. How's that to help anybody? And now here's the problem with that. Okay. So some of these may have been national chains. Some of these may have been franchises. Some of these are local businesses. Now, some of these businesses aren't even sure if they're going to open back up again. They're thinking about pulling in the air out of the area because of these morons out there taking advantage, trying to get one over on somebody. And they don't understand, this is the same thing I saw during the protesting, where you had a bunch of people protesting for good reasons, or I support people's ability and right to protest on things. But then you get a bunch of knuckleheads taking advantage, taking the cover of a protest and deciding to loot things. And this is the problem I saw here. And this is disgusting. It's an embarrassment. I've never seen this in Buffalo before. And I hope it's a bunch of people who have moved to Buffalo, and it's not the norm. I also think that COVID screwed people up, because ever since COVID, people have lost their minds. They don't understand common courtesy. Common courtesy is no longer common. There's a whole bunch of things of this thing. It just frustrates the freaking hell out of me. But I digress. I'm safe. We're safe. The snow's melting. Unfortunately, Buffalo is a wasteland because, unfortunately, all the abandoned vehicles, which they even discussed on the news today, that they're being towed, and they're being towed at cost. And you know what? If they're impeding people's, some people passed away because they couldn't get emergency services. Okay, and what contributed to that? People abandoning the vehicles. People, they had there was a travel ban. No one should have been on the road. No one should have been on the road. No one. Now, I did hear the casino kicked people out, and one of the hotels wouldn't let people stay in the lobbies and stuff like that. We all need to pull together and help each other. I've been through this stuff. This is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. We need to pull together and help each other. Because what would happen if it was you? So I'm going to wrap things up here. First of all, make sure if you get a warning, if there's a weather warning, plan for the worst. So first of all, when you have a storm coming your way, go out and get food or get DoorDash, do something, do whatever you got to do. Stock up supplies. Secondly, if you're in the winter, especially if you're in the Buffalo area, make sure there's a coat in the vehicle. I see all the kids coming to my school all the time without jackets. I'm saying, do you have a jacket? Oh, it's in the car. Okay, at least it's in the car. Listen to the weather. If you can't see out there, you shouldn't be out there driving. Simple as that. And for those who've been in my school before, I got lost in my parking lot once. It was so bad. There wasn't a travel ban, which shocked the hell out of me. But no one showed up for class. I went to leave to go to the bank. Thank goodness the pizzeria had an open sign next to me, because I decided I can't go. I can't see anything. And if it wasn't for that light in the window, I wouldn't have known where I was in the parking lot. I was there from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. until the weather broke, because it wasn't safe for me to drive because of that visibility. Okay. Don't expect emergency service people to be driving. If it's not safe for you to drive because you can't see, don't expect others to do the same. Get your cars off the road. Make sure you have them parked the place somewhere. Make sure you have food. Stay in, stay warm, stay fed. It's helped me so many times. Now, this was more or less, this is me going off. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I said, I'm safe. The school's open. Most of the snow is going to be gone. Let me, you know what? I'll tell you what, I'm going to, goes on when we get back to FMA talk, I'm going to be doing, I'll do you a photo. So today is the 28th. Let me see if I can bring my camera up. Photos right now. So I don't have a picture today, but I have pictures from the weekend, Christmas weekend, because this is when this all went down. Real simple. So, and for those, it was funny because I was showing the guys, everyone's reaching out to me, making sure I'm okay. I was gone doing a seminar in Delaware in November. There was a hell of a lot more snow back then. Way more snow. Okay. Here we go. Share screen. There we go. Boom. There's the view from my driveway, from my garage. So my van's there. It's a little piled up there. Let's see if I can go in the right direction here. Yep. There's my back deck. There's my hot tub, the gazebo, the backyard, the tracks where my puppies have been. There's gonna be a lot of things I'm gonna be stepping on. I know that. There's a pond under there. There's the pool. There's my school. I pulled up to the school. Here's my Dodge Caravan. That's level. That was waist high easily. They had to clear that out for me. There's Tyr. For those who don't know Tyr, there's my little puppy, my 170-pound lap dog. Happy New Year to you as well, May. This is after I brushed the vehicle off. Oh, and here's a quick trick. If you want to blow off, if you want your vehicle, so I have to park, because Janice's Mustang gets to stay in the garage, Polly. My Mustang gets stuck outside, but it's okay. Hers is better looking. Mine's faster. But when I do this, there's the front area. Okay. It wasn't that deep. This is probably about 2.5 feet right here. It really doesn't show well, but okay. For those who know the car, after I dug out, this is my Mustang. The snow was this near the side. It had snow drifts up to that right there, up to the side by the window. Right here, there's snow drifts up on the Equinox, the Caravan. There's a whole snow drift here. This is a 2-car driveway, so I have to, and there's a side pad that I can't get to at the moment because it's, it's kind of, well, there's side pads over here. But I mean, it really wasn't that much. This is about 3 feet tall right here. Cleared this area out. I had to do the street so the mailbox can be done, because we want to make sure. Oh, there's there's my alarm clock. All right. So I wanted to do this show for a couple of reasons, and one of which is we haven't done a show in a while, and we're going to get back into doing that this year. I wanted to say hello and make sure everyone had a good holiday. As usual, you can always get a hold of me, datutim at gmail.com, datuhartman.com, worldmoderneast.com, or wmrneast.com as well. These are the websites and the emails and stuff like that. You got any questions, just reach out. We've got a bunch of things happening for the new year. Brazil, Mexico, Barbados, Trinidad, going back to England, it looks like, and maybe Ireland and a few other places while I'm over there. And a few other things might be happening I haven't really released yet. So a lot of cool stuff. Go check out the seminar page. It is blowing up. I've got at least 16 events so far for the new year. The next thing I'm going to be doing is we'll just talk about that real quick. So I got 2 things going on in January. They're back to back. They're in the same town. I'll pull up the ting at the place. All right. I'm gonna put it in here. We'll do the screen. All right, here we go. Real quick. I'll go through this real quick. So listed right now, January 26th at Championship Martial Arts, I'm doing a seminar, Price 70 seminar. The very next day, I'm teaching in Jacksonville at Terzak's Family Martial Arts Academy. That is part of the Kovar ProMac conference. So if you're going to be there, I'm one of the presenters there doing Price's earnings. There we go. March 4th, I am teaching in Cambridge, Ontario at Practical Martial Arts. Location is still TBA. We got the academy listed, but I think we're using the hotel we used for the winter camp or the Thanksgiving camp. We have the Florida camp March 17th through 19th. I'll be down in Florida for about 11 days in March. April 1st, I am going back to Wolfpack Martial Arts in Mount Gilead, Ohio. It's 45 minutes north of Columbus. I'm also supposed to be doing something in Columbus, not that weekend, but another time. FMA Invasion 2 is going on. That is at the Martial Arts Symposium hosted by Terry Dow. That is April 21st through 23rd. We're also doing, the 21st is the bonus day. But Bill Wallace, Bruce Chutnick, and myself will be doing special sessions on the Friday. So it's just the three of us that day. So that's going to be really cool. Then the World Modern Race Alliance training camp is May 5th through 7th here in Buffalo, New York. Then we go to Brazil, at least 2 locations in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo. Then I'm going back up to Canada to Wallaceburg Martial Arts, first time there. And then we're going to Mexico, going to Puerto Vallarta, see my good friend Rondi McKee from White Tiger Taekwondo, who's now living down there. Then something's going on in England. So don't look at the date here if you look at the website. This is a DatuHartman.com website. Then September 15th, the Price 70 seminar at Rancho Cordova Martial Arts. Then the 16th and the 17th, I am at the Gathering in Sacramento. Allegedly, I might be up in Redding, California during that time as well. Got to verify that, or the Redding area. Then we have the World Modern Race Alliance Instructor Development Camp. That is September 29th through October 1st. Then we go back to the Caribbean. I am down in Barbados, and we're working on going to Trinidad while we're down there. So that is October 20th and 21st. That is a multi-day trip, like a 5-day group thing. We're going down there, and then 2 days specifically for the martial arts. But those who are going with us, with our crew, we are going to be doing a morning workout at the beach, and then we're going to go out and do things. Then we have the Southern Ontario Modern East Camp. That's basically our Thanksgiving weekend, not theirs. Theirs is Columbus Day, the Black Friday weekend. So that's going to be up at the Cambridge Hotel and Conference Center, which we did which we might be doing the Practical Martial Arts seminar there as well. So that'll be myself teaching with the World Modern Race Alliance Canadian staff. Then December 2nd, we are going to do our World Modern Race Alliance training and Christmas party, because that's what we do, free to all of our members, first weekend of December. And then the following May 2024, is going to be the World Modern Race Alliance training camp again. So these are all the events. You can look at both websites. I don't have the instructors or the events for my staff because there's multiple camps out there. I'm waiting for flyers from the guys. So there is a Delaware State camp. There's also a Delaware seminar. I'm waiting for confirmation on that for me to go down there. There's a camp that goes on in Delaware that is done by the WMA staff, not by me. We try to do our best to divide up and cover more distance. So Put On Guru Craig is doing his Canadian Northern Ontario camp, where I do the Southern Ontario camp. So that's up in Sudbury, Ontario. Waiting for the flyer on that. And then there's the fall and spring fling done by PG Tie Botting. Waiting for the flyers and dates on those. I'm going to try to make one of those as well. So that'll be on the worldmountaineeralliance.com website. The Datu Hartman is just me. I might be merging the two just for easier maintenance. It's a lot easier that I have to do one. I'm talking to some consultants to give me the best direction on stuff. So the World Mountaineering Alliance website might be getting an overhaul and stuff like that. So that's it. We got a lot of cool things going on for FMA Talk in the new year. I got a lot of cool guests coming up. I'm very excited about that. And I miss you guys. I miss talking to everybody. So listen, everybody, as always, please stay safe and stay sane. This is Datu Hartman saying thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon. And by the way, Happy New Year.